just not there yet. It's close, just not there. Dennis, we're so close, but it needs a few more things. It needs to fly faster. It needs a terrain follow faster.
Stop! Give me the list. Okay, give me a moment.
Dennis, I'll check with you later.
Stop! All done.
All done? Already?
Yes.
Let me
I
see
finished.
that. Wow, looks good. Release it. Send it out.
Hey everybody, Alex Bennett here from Agri Spray Drones. As some of you know, we have just released some major firmware updates for the EAV J100. I'm going to go through this loom a little bit to talk about what some of those updates are and also show you some of the features on the remotes of kind of how to do those updates, how to do the updates, and actually what the features after those updates look like on the remote. So first things first. As you can see, I have a list of about 16 major firmware updates. Those 16 will be compiled into 5 actual firmware updates. I'm going to read those out real quick. We have another video showing all this too, but just to read them out. So one of the updates will be the actual UAV firmware. That new update will be 2.2.78. The next one from there will be a CPU update. That is 1.0.194. We have a power upgrade package. This is going to update some firmware in the batteries. This will be underneath the UAV update. With this will be for batteries. So basically you'll have one battery in the drone. We'll run that power upgrade package. Once it's complete, we'll pull that battery, put the next battery in, the same thing, and the same thing. So you'll do that, run that one 3 times, one for each battery. Besides that one is the smart battery firmware is 3.5.33. We will have a charger firmware update. That is 1.0.11. And then we have a big one that is the app or the APP update. It will be 1.5.1.4 or 5012. So those are the ones you guys are going to be doing. Some pretty cool stuff. The main ones that we're going to walk through, we have increased flight speed. With the flight speed, this does enable terrain following, not auto bypass, but terrain following and without having to hook up to the RTK source. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. We'll show you that one very first. So let's go. All right, so if I'm going in here to set up a field, so let's say that's my field right there. We're going to go ahead and go into operate. So if you can see at the top of my screen, there are these 2 icons here. So this icon is terrain following. This icon is intelligent bypass. Okay, so just so you have record of this, because this will adjust your flight speed. So I have basically intelligent bypass on right now. Don't mind the errors. I'm sitting in my office. The drone's sitting out in the shop. It doesn't have any GPS or anything. So, all right, so we're going to set in a target volume here. We'll just set that for 2. Height really doesn't matter. We'll just make sure, kind of have a standard, let's say 32 feet swath in there, route spacing. All right, so now we're going to go to speed. So what you see now is on speed. Because this drone has intelligent bypass on, it is going to limit us to 32.8 feet per second. The reason it does do that is because for warranty, EA has said that warranty for auto bypass, not including power lines, will be rated to 32.8 feet per second. So I'm going to show you a trick on this one. So if I'll go ahead and cancel this field. I'm going to go up to here, go into my radar settings. I'm going to shut off intelligent bypass. I still have terrain following on. I just do not have intelligent bypass. So wait for this to come through. All right. Intelligent bypass is off. Now if I go back, you can see on my screen, intelligent bypass is not lit up anymore. Terrain following still is. So the drone will still terrain follow. It will just not bypass around obstacles. It will come up to an obstacle. It will stop. It'll do the emergency braking and all that stuff. It just will not bypass it. So let's go back to that same field. Again, we're going to set GPA, set our route spacing. Okay, now if I hit speed, I can take this drone up to 50.5 feet per second while bypassing. Not hooked up to RTK or anything. It will terrain follow while flying at that speed. Yes, 50.5 feet per second right now is over the legal limit. 30 mile an hour or 45 feet per second is where that caps off, just for warnings that don't know. So anything over 45 feet per second technically is illegal. There are exemptions you can do. We're in the process right now of filing our high speed exemptions for the J100 and our future models. So just so everybody knows, 45 right now is the cap, but this drone will fly faster than 45. But just so you know. Another thing to show is once we get our flight speed above 32.8, so if I max out our flight speed, you're going to see this warning. Flight speeds above 32.8 feet per second that result in a collision will not be covered underneath warranty. That is standing. If you do have a crash going over 32.8 feet per second, we will not cover it underneath warranty, unless something major fails that did not cause anything to do with speed. So you have to, I understand that. So yeah, terrain following, we can go clear up max speed of 50.5. We recommend staying 45 or below, but once we get exemptions going through, we can open that up to a higher speed. So that's the difference between speed with intelligent bypass on, intelligent bypass off. Like I said, it will terrain follow at all those speeds, and you do not need RTK. To fixed height speed, for fixed height flights, you do not need RTK anymore. So very cool. This is a major benefit to help you guys, at 45 feet per second, just not having to have RTK. It's still going to terrain follow, and you're going to be able to cover some mass acres for sure. The next one here is multi-boundary pass. We have guys all the time, I want to be able to do multi-boundary passes. You can do that now. I'll show you right now the walk around to do that. In future updates, we will actually have kind of a toilet bowl scenario where we can do boundary only, put in our route spacing and say I want to do 5 passes, and it will do that 5 passes automatically. Right now we can do it. There is some manipulation. I'm going to show you that right now though. Okay, let me find a bigger field. All right, we'll just use this one for now. So if we go into operate, underneath our routes, this is actually something I'm going to mention too. Guys doing demos and stuff like that, if you see this field is fairly small. This is kind of one of our demo fields that we fly on. If you see right here on the screen, this is a new feature, number of times sprayed. So if you guys have small demo fields, swath testing, we put this feature in specifically for swath testing, but we're going to leave it on there for everybody. This is where I can tell the drone 5. So it's going to spray this field. It's going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's going to get to this end, then it's going to backtrack. Then it's going to go forward and backtrack. It's going to fly that field 5 times. So that's a very cool feature, guys. Demos, small areas, stuff like that, that you just want to have the drone fly and not have to take off and land all the time. That's a pretty cool feature. Okay, so we're going to go down. We're going to switch this to boundary only. So we're going to go to boundary only. Right now, we're going to let it fly exactly like that. We're going to go into basically new operation. For this instance, we'll take off the safety point. Okay, so we're going to basically take off. We're going to let that drone fly that boundary pass all the way around. When the drone lands, we're going to hit operate, go back into all boundary shrink. So if we have a 30-foot swath, we're basically going to cover the first pass is going to be 30 feet. So then we're looking for the next pass. So we're going to go 30 plus 15. So we would shrink this into 45 feet. We'll hit confirm. We'll fly it again. Yeah, let me get out of this field, out of the issue. Okay, boundary only. Like I said, first pass, we'll land. We'll shrink this. I'm going to shrink it a lot smaller because this is a small field. So basically, we'll let it fly the first time. I'll come back into operate. We'll put in our next pass. If you guys are basing off 30 foot, it'd basically be 45 feet. We're going to hit confirm. As you can see, it just shrunk that. We're going to fly it again. Let's say we want to do it 3 times. We're going to let the drone land. We're going to swap batteries, refill it. We're going to go back into shrink. And then you basically, so if you're at 45, then you're going to go into 75. For this reason, for small, I'm going to just put 10. Now you can see my boundary shrink again. So you can do this as many times as you want to, guys having 120 foot of headlands, 240 foot of headlands, 30 foot, 90 foot, anything like that. This gives you the option to do boundary only spraying multiple passes. Very cool feature. It'll be even cooler when we can get the toilet bowl feature on, where it can do 5 passes around the boundary all by itself. But we wanted to get this out here, so we know this is a big request for guys. So this is the way how you can do it. Very, very cool. Okay, next one here is we're going to go into our flight settings. We're going to go to battery. So what we've seen on the drone, by default in the drone's CPU, the drone, if it hits 47 volts, it will automatically return to home. We mainly see this, if it's a little cooler and the battery's cold, if the battery's already charged and we pull it out, the battery's cool, and we're fully loaded with payload, or we do some weird maneuvers. We had seen guys saying, hey, it says battery voltage low and it's returning to home. Through looking at the back end and data and stuff like that, we realize it only hits that for a split second and then it comes out, but that automatically triggers the return to home function. So we're going to give you guys the option. If you can see here, it says low voltage return. So if this is turned on, if the drone hits our set voltage between 46 and 50, whatever we have that set to, if that is turned on, when it hits that voltage, it will return to home. We wanted to take that a little step farther. Caution with this one. We don't want people crashing, of course. Let's just set this to 46. So yeah, basically going below 47, it says it may result in power failure or crash, stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and hit confirm. So basically, if I was in this situation, if the drone hit 46% voltage, the drone would automatically turn home. Sometimes the battery's cold, like I said, it will hit a voltage like that for a split second and then come out of it. We have put in the option of low voltage return. So if I shut this off, it says, of course, it'll give you a warning about disabling it. If you do have a crash during this situation, it will not be covered underneath warranty. Operators are fully responsible, so we're going to hit that. So now if I hit this, and we'll put it in a situation. Let's say we're at the far end of the field. All of a sudden it blips. It hits 46%. Just for a split second, and we know the drone. It came out of it, and it's automatically returning home. We put this feature in here. That way, if you turn it off, this function off, it will tell you low voltage alert. Please return to home. But the drone will actually stay in its operation. So it's a feature, kind of an override feature. Just please be careful, be smart as you're using it. You guys will get along fine with it. Okay, so we're going to go home next. So we have manual, what's called manual or manual plus. This feature does still need a lot of work. We know that. It was pretty unstable. The drone did some weird stuff like spraying while returning to home, starting the nozzle on the ground, such like that. The program is stable now. It works correctly. But like I said, this is just fixing the stability of it. We have a lot more to come. It's going to be set up pretty much just like DJI. You're going to be able to set your height, of course, your route spacing, target, speed, all that stuff. And then it will, as it is in there, it will terrain follow. It will not auto bypass, but it will terrain follow. Right now, it's stable. It still will not terrain follow at that set height or at your set height. You don't see a set height on here. That's because you basically fly the drone to your height. You get into the start of it, and then you go from there. But more will be coming on this, but it is stable. Hopefully this helps guys and stuff like that. 4G. We have the capability, and we have tested it. There is a 4G video. If not online, will be online very soon, showing the capabilities of 4G. So where we sit on that, we know it works. The biggest thing we have to get is we have to have a global 4G SIM installed in the CPUs. We have 800 units. Our first 800 units will not have the global module in the CPU. Every unit after that will already come pre-installed with the global module. What we're working with EA right now is to basically, when they start our next production run of drones, they will start cranking out extra CPUs with 4G modules in them. We will basically purchase those modules, and then we will make that an upgrade package. So if guys want to have 4G and you're within those first 800 drones, there's basically a package, an upgrade package you can purchase. We'll send you a new CPU, we'll swap it out, do everything to set it up, and then you'll be good to go. But 4G works. It is very, very cool. You can make the drone function off the remote and your phone at the same time. If guys that have Android phones, you can actually put the flight app on your phone, do takeoff commands, you can map, bring it home, all that stuff. The only thing you can't do on your phone is manually fly it. But other than that, everything else. And you can do it from the phone and the remote at the same time. Very cool. This will help guys, guys that get into hard to reach places where we know we're losing signal. Let's say you don't have a super link for a relay, or you just don't want to buy it. This will be a way that you still can see the drone fly. You can see your batteries, your tank loads, all that stuff without having direct connection to the drone. So very, very cool. Nothing really to show on the remote, but I kind of want to go over this feature. Some of you, I noticed, and we've noticed ourselves when we're flying, especially if we're flying kind of diagonal fields, that the on and off times of the spray drone weren't quite right. Basically, it would, if we had a long run and a shorter run, basically as the drone came up this shorter run, it would stop at the end of here, and then it would just go straight over. So then we'd have a little bit of an area that we were missing when the drone turned. So now we've basically told the drone, as it gets done with this short run, shut off, continue flying up to turn to hit the top of the long run. This also did help with, we knew our on and off spray times were a little weird, so we could see it when the drone kicked on, it was delayed. We have changed those on and off times and those parameters. So now the drone basically will go to on the short side, it would go up, stop, go clear to the top of the long side, turn around, and then continue spraying where it needed to be instead of staggering. So some of you might have seen it, some of you might not have seen it. It is fixed. There's, like I said, there's plenty of stuff here that's not even on the app. Optimizing no spray logistics during turn, max flight speed of 50 feet per second, fix the bugs in Manual Plus, low voltage thresholds in operations, disable return to home functionalities in Manual Plus. Plenty of stuff on here. That's just some of the real quick, down and dirty main features in it. If you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to us. Let us know. If you guys want to see, if you don't have a J100 and want to see it, and want to see a demo, we'll be more than welcome to put you in contact with some of our dealers or cams or demos in house, whatever you guys want to do. It's been a very cool experience. EA, when we started this partnership, we knew they were very eager to come to the U.S. and to make this a market for them. They said, oh yeah, we'll help you change whatever you need for the end users. That's where we wanted to come into, is what's the best for our end users. At first we kind of said, okay, yeah, we've heard this story before. But I'll tell you what, I work with them every day, all day. It's amazing, just truly amazing on the stuff they're willing to change for us. They don't care. They want to make this drone the best spray drone for the end users. So phenomenal. It's cool. Some stuff we have issues with, I'll tell Dennis. I said, hey, Dennis, this isn't quite right. Honestly, within an hour or two, if it's a small issue, he'll have it fixed. Oh, it's ready to go. We try it and it works. So very, very cool. There's going to be plenty of these coming down. I mean, we have a huge list of updates we're pushing through to add features that no other drone has. Also to get it up to par with some other drones that people are used to. So a lot more to come. This was a pretty major one. We have talked about this before too. Also, it's going to be redone in this update too. It carries on. There will be, just like the last update, we will have soft manual landing, shutting down the props on the ground. If you haven't taken off, it's stick down and stuff like that. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Get all those firmwares updated. Like I said, get on the Knowledge Hub. There's going to be videos to show you how to do all these updates. Go through the list. Make sure you are running the right firmware. If you guys see anything in this firmware that we did not catch that is buggy or anything like that, reach out to me. Let us know so we can get it fixed. We're really relying on you guys, our dealers, our end users, to help us build the best spray drone for the United States, and frankly, even more than the United States. Let's try for the world here. So, all right, thanks guys.